Recently I got an Innovate Race Elite Extreme 10 pack. For the last couple of years my mountain marathon pack has been a 20 litre sack, and I was by no means sure that I could get all my kit in this new small Innovate pack, but I did, and I wanted to show you how I did it, and that you can get your kit smaller and lighter than you think you can at first. So I'm going to just run through how I packed it and what's in this bag. All the kit in here complies with the minimum kit for the OM. There's actually a little bit more stuff than they asked for in the RAB, and I haven't skimped on clothing at all. Okay, there are no pockets on the back of the Extreme 10. The only two pockets you get are little net pockets on the sort of fins on the side here. They sort of make up the belt, but they're a bit bigger than that. Okay, so in these I've got my on the hill food for day one in a plastic bag, which for me is a mixture of chocolate raisins and jelly babies. Big bag of those. And on the other side I keep an empty water bottle, which I just fill up from any water that I find as we run along. So yeah, just an empty plastic water bottle, cheaper and lighter than any sort of bought version. Okay, the only modification I've made to this bag, there's absolutely nothing you can cut off it as you normally do with a pack. The only modification I've made is I've added a net bag to this shoulder strap. For the weight of just a few grams of a net bag. I find these very handy if it's the kind of day where your gloves are on or off, or your hat's on or off. Then it's very handy to be able to, especially when you've got such a small bag like this, to be able to store things quickly and easily as you're running along. Especially if I want my hands free for anything, then I can put my map and my compass in here as well. So it really is just a, like a net storage bag that's been cable tied at either end, just to hold it onto the bag. And I have sort of two drawstrings at the top that allow me to open it up. In here at the moment I have my compass, which is a silver Jet 5, best running compass there is. Okay, so let's have a look inside the bag. Okay, inside my bag, I'll show you what I've got. So first thing on the very much on the outside is my jacket. This happens to be Montaigne Air Smock, which is out for spring 14, so you won't have seen one of those yet, but it's a 3-layer event jacket. There are much smaller, lighter jackets on the market. This weighs just a bit shy of 300 grams, and you can get probably a jacket for half that weight. But for a mountain marathon, I would only ever take a Gore-Tex, like an active shell jacket, or 3-layer events, because I don't think those other jackets are protective enough in really horrible conditions. So that's my jacket. Next, out of here, at the top, I have my hat and gloves. So some Smart Wool, these are called the training glove, I think. Nice silicone grippy palms, for holding onto your map all day in the wind, which can give you very tired hands. And a waterproof, classic mountain cap with ear flaps and a bit of a lightweight lining. Next out of the bag, is our cooker. Me and my partner, our joint kit is the tent, the cooker, and the first aid kit. So it just so happens that the fly sheet and the inner weigh exactly half, 600 grams, and then the gas, the cooker, pegs, poles, and first aid kit also weigh 600 grams. So I've got the cooker and the pegs, poles bits, which is actually takes up more space and is slightly harder to pack because it's a solid shape than just the tent and the inner. So this is a Jetboil titanium, great stove, and inside I have there's the gas canister and also my spare socks. I take a really thin pair of like Cool Max liner socks to put on at camp, just because I want to be really nice to my feet because I'll run on them next day. So I take a really thin pair of dry liner socks, which I put on with my foot bags. Yeah, and then there's the burner unit of the cooker also goes inside there with the gas. That bag there has my sleeping bag. So I've got a Mountain Equipment 0mm, so it's a special mountain marathon sleeping bag that has a balloon bed built in the back of it. Unfortunately they don't make them anymore, so I would use what is now the 0250, pretty similar bag, and buy a standard balloon bed. I mean, the new Neo Airs from Thermarest are really light, but they're just not as, they are more comfortable too, but they're just not as light as a balloon bed. I also have a balloon pillow, which is a special shaped single balloon they make that works really well. So that is my, so it's an ultralight dry bag from Exped with my sleeping bag and balloon bed in it. The dry bag also gets used as a water carrier at camp. Once I get my sleeping bag out, I can fill that with water at the stream, carry that back to the tent. So I've got a long-handled titanium spoon from Cedar Summit. Nice to have a long spoon when you're eating these freeze-dried meals out of the bag, saves it getting all over your hand when you get to the bottom. Just leave that for a second. There are the poles for the tent, and there are the pegs. Classic sort of completely rubbish 1 gram titanium pegs, back of them. My waterproof trousers, which in this case are Montaigne. They're made from Shield Plus. I can't quite remember the name of them, but they are fantastic for running and biking if you're looking for a lightweight pair of pants, because they've got Velcro adjusters on the legs, so you can cinch them up so you can even cycle in them, so they're good for overnight long distance mountain bike events as well. So for the RAB you don't have to have waterproof trousers, you're allowed Pertex wind trousers, but for the OM you'd have to have taped waterproof ones like these. I weighed them and they actually weighed the same as my Pertex non-waterproof ones, so there seemed no reason not to bring them. There's my waterproof trousers. They're pretty much in the bottom because I find it quite unlikely that I'll wear those. You have to have a foil or an emergency bivvy bag rather than like a foil blanket, so it's allowed to be foil. So this is the AMK. It's really good actually, strong foil bag. It's not as sort of delicate as some of the other ones, so that's really good. When I get to camp I'll open that out and put it on the bottom of the tent just to lay it, make the ground sheet of the tent thicker. Notice that I've got rid of all the stuff sacks from all of these, apart from the tent pegs, which I do keep because I'm a bit worried about them, the ends of the pegs ripping over something else as it jostles about for the whole day. But everything else I've got rid of the bags, things, so try and make everything lighter. Then I get to my food. So I've got a freeze-dried meal, chicken, korma and rice. There's 550 calories in that. And I've also got a liquid meal. So this is a meal replacement drink. It's got about 450 calories in it, I think. Something like yeah, 443. So it basically makes you mix it with water and it makes a shake that's got a really good blend of protein, fat and carbohydrate in it. You know, it's almost got as many calories in it as that. So I'll drink that as soon as I get to camp, and then, you know, I'll wait an hour and then I'll have that. I really have, you know, there's almost 1,000 calories there in those 2 packets, so that's the bulk of my food when I get to camp. Okay, in this bag I have cling filmed up is my chocolate raisins and jelly babies for tomorrow. So they're wrapped in cling film, and the bag that these raisins and jelly babies are in, plus this bag here, they're my 2 foot bags for when I get to camp. I put my dry socks on, and then I put my feet inside these bags and put my trainers back on. That way I can walk around camp but still keep my socks dry. So, you know, I double use one of my foot bags, so that try and, you know, just means I don't have to carry something else. Right, that comes to my last dry bag. So I've got one dry bag with all my bits and pieces in it. And I'll just quickly run through. I've got a Fireball smock as my warm top. It's like a Prima Loft jumper, 200 and something grams. Really amazingly warm for its weight. So I take that as my warm top. I've got the minimum first aid kit requirements, as by the rules: a triangular bandage, a couple of dressings and a roller bandage. I've got 100 grams of peanuts, which is also part of my evening meal. In total I've got 4,900 calories for the event. So, you know, I haven't skimped on food at all. That is my breakfast, which is another dehydrated sort of porridge meal. I've taken it out of this self-sealed bag that they come in, because I can reuse this one. So by taking it out of that bag and wrapping it in cling film, I've saved quite a bit of weight there. Alright, what else? So I've got a dry long sleeve thermal top. This is an Arc'teryx Phase AR. So I'll obviously be running in one of these, and I take a dry one. I always have a dry thermal at camp. So these are all my clothes. What I expect to be running in are a pair of smart wool socks, a pair of compression shorts and a long sleeve top just like this one. And that's what I'll be running in. That's what I start out in. Everything else is in my bag. But when I get to camp, I've put on this dry top, and also in here I've got some compression tights. So I'll get to camp, I'll put on my compression tights, a dry top, my Prima Loft top, you know, and I should be pretty warm. If it's windy, I might put on my waterproof trousers as well, but that's a complete change of dry clothes for camp. What else have we got in here? I've got a cup of soup, just nice to have at some point in the evening, better than... I've got my emergency rations, which for me is 1 energy bar. I've got a permanent marker and with a little bit of tape on it, which is in the mandatory kit list. I've got a Petzl E-Light torch, which just should do for camp. And I've got a single tea bag for after breakfast. All of that goes in a very small 4 litre ultralight dry bag. This one is a Sea to Summit nano bag. And that is everything that goes in my Innovate Extreme 10 bag, which itself only weighs just over 100 grams. I think it's 105 from memory. Plus I've added that net bag to it, another few grams. But a lot of people will, their backpacks will weigh 600-700 grams even before they put anything in it. So, you know, I'm really happy that I can get everything in there.